So we're just gonna shake this up and we're gonna pick one. It says, tell a story from your childhood. I'm just gonna share the very first story that popped into my head. I was about old, which means my younger sisters were about 7 and 5. At this time, my 7-year-old sister and I would catch the bus to school, and we were really excited for our younger sister to catch the bus with us. And so we wanted to show her our bus stop. I really don't know what the big deal is about a bus stop, but we were just really excited to show her our bus stop. So on this particular day, we get dressed in our winter boots and our coats because it was downpouring outside. Why we chose that day of any day, I really don't know. But that's the day we chose. So we got ourselves ready and we went out. We walked down the street to the bus stop, but because my sister and I hadn't been catching the bus for the past couple days because we had decided to walk to school instead, there was construction going on at the intersection where we had to cross the street to get to the bus stop. So we get to the road and we see this big, huge tractor and orange spray paint line on the sidewalk where the sidewalk ended and the road began. Except there was no road. No, there was just like a bunch of dirt, I guess mud, because it was raining. There was just a bunch of mud. We were standing right in front of this orange line, obviously telling us not to cross the road. I also had my neighbor and friend with me at the time, and we were all just standing there, and I said, we should not be crossing this orange line. This does not seem like a good idea. We should just go home. And so, I kind of pointed across the street to my sister, like, that's the bus stop, blah, blah, blah. So my friend says, it's just a little painted line. Like, you can just walk over it. It's just a little bit muddy. And I got this really bad feeling not to cross this orange line. And I don't know where my conscience went, why I just acted so stupid, because that's not like me at all. And I blame it on peer pressure. So when you get a bad feeling, do not feel pressured to ignore it, just as a hint for the future for you, my friends, because I learned this the hard way. So I was like, fine, whatever, we will just cross the stupid road, ignore this stupid orange line, and just go show her the bus stop. Well, bad idea, because I don't remember who stepped in first, but they quickly sunk. Very, very fast. Very, very deep. It was traumatizing. And there was a bunch of screaming going on, and my sisters and I grabbed whoever it was that fell in first and tried to pull her out, but because we were really small and weak, apparently, we had a really hard time pulling her out. And I had yelled to my friend to go down a couple doors to the sweet lady with all the dogs that we knew to get help. And closer than my house. But my friend completely chickened out, completely left us alone. She just completely bailed. And she just ran home, bawling her face off, and she didn't even come back. And so I was left there with my 2 little sisters, and I had thought we were going to die. Literally, I thought we were going to die. But I remember when we pulled out Sam, who was the 7-year-old at the time, her boots stayed on because she's a perfectionist and she tied them really, really tight, and there was no way they were coming off. But she still had mud like all the way up. It was insane how much mud there was. But then because we were pulling with so much effort, the next person, when we pulled them out, the next person fell in. And it was madness. It didn't end. Oh my gosh, it was horrible. So then when I fell in, I remember just feeling so confined because the mud was so thick and it was so incredibly deep, and it probably actually wasn't really mud. It was probably like cement and mud, and I don't even know. But this stuff was like insanely hard to get out of. And so my sisters got me out, but when I got out, the youngest one fell in. And I had lost a boot and a sock. And then I had one sock on, but it had partially come off and it was all covered up in mud. And I remember I was wearing purple jeans, and they were no longer purple after this incident. And when the youngest one fell in, we were all just freaking out. There was screaming going on, there was panicking going on, there was yelling going on, there was crying going on. It was chaos. I remember yelling at the middle-aged sister, "Go home, get mom, we need help now." But she was freaking out, so she didn't want to go home. She didn't want to leave us alone because I don't know what was going through her head, but I'm pretty sure she thought we were going to die. So she stayed with us, and eventually we all got out. Now I remember getting home literally covered in mud from head to toe. My mom made us get undressed on the front step because we were not allowed in the house with all this mud on our clothes. So we got naked and we ran in the house to the bathroom. And I remember putting the youngest sister up on the bathroom counter, and I remember literally cleaning out her eyelashes because she had caked mud in her freaking eyelashes. Like, oh my goodness. It was terrifying. So I think it was like whatever, and it was raining again. I was delivering newspapers with my dad and my sisters, and to get to this cul-de-sac we had to cross a field. But this field was muddy because it was raining. Well, that's when my anxiety kicked in. And let's just say that I've never run faster. I would see patches of grass and I would like jump from one to the next in hopes not to run on the mud. But the whole time I was like holding my breath because holy crap, no more mud in my whole entire life. And whenever I step in mud and I feel it like slip and slide and I feel my foot sink a little bit, oh my goodness, my heart just like jumps into my throat. I can't breathe. I completely lose my mind and I panic. I'm like almost 30 and I can't walk in mud because it's terrifying to me. So my friends, the lesson to the story would be to not fall into peer pressure ever. It gets you into trouble. Hopefully I stay pain and heartache and trauma that I went through. I hope you guys had a good laugh about that at my expense, and I will see you guys in my next video. Peace out.